Hello and welcome to Empires Apart. With the NDA being dropped, we can now share videos to our heart's content. And so I'm very excited to start showing this game. And so we're going to have a couple, hopefully very good games between some very good players with a more new player focused commentary. For those who haven't seen this game before, but who might be interested in getting it, this is Empires Apart. Heavily Age of Empires inspired, but with taking inspiration from lots of old school RTSs and trying to bring them into the modern era and fix some of the problems with them, which we haven't been able to get fixed because there have been no new traditional RTSs for a while. So in the right here we have playing as the blue striker, very good RTS player, as the French. French are possibly, arguably, the most sort of vanilla Age of Empires styled civ. It's good to see them. They have strong late game cavalry, and that is their sort of focus, but everything you see, if you have played Age of Empires, you should basically sort of understand. On the other side, in the red, we have the Aztecs. Now the Aztecs are one of the more unique civs, also one of the earlier civs, and they are played here by Adne, who is the player who has probably the most time out of anyone in the game, especially I'd say definitely the most time in multiplayer. And as you can see, a difference coming very early on. The Aztecs building a barracks. Now, I won't go too deep into the Aztecs because I did do them in my other video, but you might not want to watch that. So I will give some of the basic uniquenesses of Aztecs. The important note is that they get this barracks early on, which only half of the civs in this game can build a barracks before they have upgraded to tech level. And they also have very different cavalry. You see the French cavalry is this horseman riding along the plains having fun, but Aztecs get a much slower cavalry, a much slower scout who isn't cavalry, who, as you can maybe see by the haziness of him, is invisible. If you attack, you do a lot of damage, but you come out of invisibility. So these early warriors are also needed to lure these boars towards the town centre. This one's actually getting away, but the town centre fire is going to bring them back. And then the warriors are going to be used also to kill the boars, so the villagers can harvest from them. And this is important to notice because you also see they have these little white bars under their health bar. There are a lot of other little nuances, like he's turned capture stance on, which is this white dot at the top, which doesn't actually do anything here except lower their damage, but lowering their damage means they do more hits, which means that they actually get a little bit more XP. Ooh, and we actually just got to see an assassination there. That was the spy using his attack that he gets when he comes out of stealth. He is now visible, and he will be visible until the next night. There is a day-night cycle in this game. And now we can see the real differences where these civs will change on their playstyle, because you can see here the second TC coming up early on from Striker. Now, you can build a second TC once you have the basic economic development, which is the first upgrade for that, and then you can build another 2 when you get the advanced economic development. And Adne's actually going to come in here and try to stop it, or at least slow it as much as possible and do some damage here to these villagers. But buildings build very fast right now in Empires Apart, and so he is going to manage to get this up there but he's going to lose a few villagers, and now there's going to be some shots coming down. So that was a good play from Adne there, getting some out. You can also see here that here is a level 1 warrior, almost level 2, but you can see it just says infantry. Then there's the level 2, who basically the same with a little bit of paint and a leaf. He's a veteran. And then you have elite. This is the level 3, I believe. You can, and 1 and 2 look quite similar, but 3, 4, and 5 all look quite different and quite cool. The French warriors go up the same way as you would in Empires Apart, where you have an upgrade that you research at the barracks, which boosts them up. But the uniqueness of the Aztecs, getting this early powerhouse with the military down first, and being able to go and level them up so that they get even more powerful. Like, their initial warriors aren't actually much stronger or any stronger than the initial warriors that some other factions can get. The Byzantines, who are the other faction who can build a barracks before any tech upgrades, their warriors are actually slightly more powerful, although they also cost more. But because you can level these up so quickly, you can get more powerful units before anyone else, and that means that this is a very common game with Aztecs. The Aztec has full map control, has done a little bit of harassing, but Striker's a good player, and most good players will be able to defend all of their harvesting straight up. You can see that he went for this wood very quickly and put all of his initial buildings around here to block it. He's even put a couple of towers down now. When he got this wood really fast, the wood allowed him to tech to Eco 2, or to Eco 1, which made him put down this second TC. This second TC defends this stone, and stone is needed not only to build the second TC, but to build towers. And you start with enough to build a couple towers or a second TC. And you can see he's going to need this because he's trying to move out to this food right now, and the Aztecs are just harassing all of his units. If he gets this tower up, he will then be able to keep the Aztecs away. But beforehand, he couldn't. So he gets this wood, has this now defending the stone, and this wood even has hit this wood defended by a couple towers, had his original food defended by this TC, and has his new food now defended by a couple of towers. And you can see these towers just going up as these guys have ran out of food, so these guys can now come up and join their allies here. On the Aztec side, he's pretty free on his base. He doesn't need any towers. He doesn't have any towers, but even if he did, he wouldn't need them because he has full map control, right? He just has an absolute surround around the base. But this allows for the next useful part of Aztec play, which comes in to be very important in the power of Aztecs in the mid game, which is that he has built this temple, and he is now pumping out from there the Aztec priest. Each faction's priest is very different, and he's going to be able to send his priest out and take all of the relics that are on Striker's side of the map. The relic's very powerful right now, and you can see there is also a temple down from the side of Striker. I do not believe he has built a priest yet. The French priest, as he idles, he builds up charge of a bless, and then when he blesses people, they gain stats. Being the awful unprepared commentator I am, I don't know the exact stats. Forgive me. I don't see a ton of people using too many priests, which makes sense why he hasn't started making too many. He probably put it down hoping that he would be able to pick up, to just snatch some relics from under the watchful eyes of Adne. But Adne is doing a very good job of surrounding him, meaning that he is going to be able to collect all of the relics. And you can see now as well, he has some archer ranges coming down to make the most powerful unit of the Aztecs, the skirmishers. See some skirmishers here, and just like the warriors, skirmishers upgrade. All of the Aztec units upgrade through levels in the same way. And they don't have as many levels as the warriors, but obviously they expect you to get them out later, and later when you have a fortress you can build warriors that start at a higher level so that you can get you need less of a progression until they become as good. So you can now see the French have this nice setup of towers around their base, keeping him really safe. The TC is obviously doing good work as well, and now you can see he's just completed there his basic military development, so now he can start also getting some army out, and he's probably going to start doing that slowly as he keeps saving up money to be able to go to the advanced military development, which will cost 600 food and 200 gold. And once he gets that, then he unlocks the real power of his faction. You see the mill going down there as well to get some economic upgrades to help him push into the late game. And once he has the advanced economic development, the advanced military development, that's going to give him access to all types of high-level French cavalry, which are really sick. And once he started making them, he's going to have a real advantage over the Aztec, who has a harder time getting stronger units, as he needs to fight with his units to level them up. You can see here, Adne is grabbing some relics. But this is the point, once he's grabbed a few relics and got the bonuses from them, which can include some damage bonus, some range, some armor, all sorts of goodies. I will eventually have to learn off by heart what they all do. You can see he has 2 garrisons there. They don't have their own image yet, but the third one is going to be put in. And the other use of the priest, once he's done this, because you can see he's building a lot of priests. This isn't just for grabbing and garrisoning all those. actually showing differently, interestingly. But the priests also heal units. They have a singular solo target heal, and they also have a curse which they can cast on someone, which puts an AoE on that target, which slows the speed, attack speed, and decreases the armor of the units in there. So you can see here the first stable has gone up now. This is an important part for the French. They're getting the second stable down here, and he's going to try and be busting out some units here. You can see the advanced military development going down. So as soon as the advanced military development and this second stable completes, you're going to start seeing him produce some paladins, or perhaps not paladins. I'm not sure which the first cavalry is. There's a load of cavalries with different names that all do different things. I'm not sure which one he's going to grab first. He's actually getting one of the upgrades immediately. There we go. You can see the upgrade to a Gendarmerie for his cavaliers. So going for the basic heavy cavalry, I believe these are the ones who the highest level of them is paladins, which is why I mentioned them earlier. You can see, oh, you almost saw a curse there. I slightly missed it. But this is why Adne, you can see Adne pushing in even under the towers now. He wants to do some damage now because he doesn't want to let too many of the cavalry get up, because they will start causing him a problem. We also saw in the thing that in the production queue that there are some priests being made here. Advanced military development going down for the Aztecs as well. And so here they are. They're going to sit around here, and they're going to start blessing people. They're going to bless all these villages at first too, which is a bit of a waste of their blessings probably. But they're just sitting out here by the rally point of here, so that every time a new heavy cavalry comes out, they can get blessed. Trying to put another stable up here. It's getting harassed a little bit, but buildings have decent piercing armor, 6 piercing armor there, and the skirmishers only do 5 damage, which means that against this building, their damage defaults to 1. You see there the beautiful effect of the slow. Interesting build, bringing the villagers up to mine from some gold here. This is obviously an old thing that in all sorts of RTS is good. If you have the map control, take as many resources from the enemy side of the map as possible. I believe that was an accidental grab, but this also means that he can build some production buildings here to minimize the defender's advantage that Striker is going to have in this fight. Looking back at Adne's side of the field, see the base, you can see nice selection of different buildings. This is the warfare research, so this is the, you know, their equivalent of like a blacksmith or whatever. I haven't seen a blacksmith go down from Striker, but I'd assume there's one somewhere, is there? Nope. There is, however, a siege workshop and 2 archery ranges going down. This is good. This is nice to see, and more varied strat than you often see from French players. Coming out here with these cavalry, he's going to spot the Aztecs trying to mine from his gold, and he's going to say no, no, no. They're also setting up to get from some of this food, but that's not going to last long either. But as he's pushed out with a lot of his cavalry, Aztecs going to try and make a move here, pushing in on both sides at once. Very good play here. And he's going to start killing a ton of these villagers down here. You can see the slow, making them easier to kill, as well as keeping them there for longer, making it harder for them to get to turrets and start garrisoning. Now this force at the bottom is going to have a bit of an annoying time. You can see some of them are leveling up here. You can see the capes on some of these skirmishers, which means they are level 2 skirmishers, but they're going to not be able to fight against these knights probably. The knights are very strong. You see the priests have already abandoned their friends over here, because they know at the top side there are more Aztecs dealing economic damage to the French player up on this side, and they just want to keep the economics down because they want to make sure that the French cannot keep producing. You can even see there's some light cavalry who just got slaughtered there by the skirmishers, because Striker is very low on gold and he needs to push out right now with these cavalry to be in order to get some more gold. You can obviously see this is probably the next gold he's going to want to grab. Adne trying to take as much of that as possible to keep the number down. There's another gold over here that he could get some of. But Adne now, we should see some other stuff start to come out soon. Perhaps getting some, just building some more barracks right now. I'd love to see, yeah, there we go. Here, right here, there is a fortress coming down. This was what I was waiting for. So the fortress can create I'm not sure which one exactly. It's either the 3rd, because there are 5 levels of warrior, including the basic level. It's either the 3rd or the 4th that you can make from the fortress. So you skip a lot of the leveling process, which obviously is a lot better because a lot of your lower level warriors will die during the leveling process in a fight against paladins, for example. Actually throwing down a lot of spearmen as well now. He's probably, the cavalry are out, he's going to convert all of these barracks to making spearmen, and all of his warriors will come from his fortresses. He can also create... It's Shlotl, so it's the third level of warriors that he gets. So you can see now some harassing going on the French side. The Aztec is given the whole game to just power up, and so at this point it's really nice to go in there and hit some of the villagers, especially since Aztec do not have cavalry, so they need to just have spearmen placed around their base to defend this. They do not have towers, so you can get in and deal some damage almost every time with this, because they've had this freedom to tech up to a certain point, but that freedom ends at a certain point as well, and they're going to push in on their own side with this army and kill all of the villagers trying to get gold here. There is gold production going on the other side, which is going to give them, which is giving them enough to create some of these veteran heavy cavalry. But they're going to try and take out some more. We're going to get to see the French fortress as well, which is cool, because I hope Adne doesn't manage to take this down, just because I really want to be able to show you the difference in how cool these buildings look. I want to see some Siege coming out soon as well, but I haven't seen it. Oh, there we go. There's a Mangonel over there. Oh, the Mangonel might get some shots in. Siege right now is very powerful. Mangonel, big AoE, anti-blob of infantry sort of thing. You can see the Spearmen doing very well against the cavalry. They're very good. The French fortress looking very interesting. Mangonel not being incredibly microed, but he did take out a couple of spearmen there, and even though it's few, ooh, big hit on the skirmishers, even though it's only a few spearmen absolutely destroy cavalry in this game, so it's really nice to get them out. The Aztecs trying to get into the back of the base here and deal as much damage as they can. The fortress being very good for defense. Getting, oh, that's just a garrison. I thought it was producing something that didn't have a thing yet. So this is, it's looking a little bit grim for the Aztec player here. He has done a decent amount of damage. They are very similar right now in both villager count and military count. You can see the villager and military count here. Adne is higher in military count, but some of that is in troops that are going to get killed off here. And the tech power... Oh, there's the blacksmith that I was looking for earlier. That's up now. The tech power of Stryker's army is much more powerful now, especially with these mangonels out. If these can get up to paladins as well, paladins and mangonels and some crossbowmen, that is an incredibly potent late game army, and really good to see. Whereas with the Aztecs, you kind of just have to work with what you have and push on to just the higher level ones. These paladins who've been waiting out here again have come waiting out here in these fields while that fighting and micro is going on, are coming in here now. Only a few spearmen now. You'll see these spearmen are going to do a decent job. They managed to, just a couple of them, take down a couple of cavalry there, but not enough here to deal with this amount of cavalry, and this is going to actually cause some significant damage to Adne's back as he pushes in, going for the big fight. He has a lot of spearmen, but some of these mangonel hits can be big. They do friendly fire, so you see a cavalryman going down there to them. He's jumped onto them here, trying to take them down. He's got two of the mangonels down. Oh, this might hit a couple of priests, though. It's only going to connect with one. But the rest of the army have managed to whittle down that army enough that he's pushed back. These cavalry still dealing a ton now. He started to rally in some spearmen to try and deal with them. But they've taken out so many workers now. The worker count tumbling for Adne, and Adne is going to call the GG. Good game between these two players. Unfortunately, my camera is locked after the game has ended, so I can't look around. Oh, I can look around. I forgot that this was a thing. I'm not sure if this is meant to be a thing. But you can see quite sprawling big bases here. And yeah, it's good to see the French win, because a lot of people have been saying that the French aren't that strong right now, and Aztec's very strong. So interesting, not the obvious conclusion from this game. And a good game from both players. So thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed what you've seen, and if you haven't seen the game, you're willing to purchase the game. And yeah, thank you for watching.